Yeah.
So you want to Shankar is interested to know about accidents. So I will tell you one
Yeah, some challenges.
one accident that I faced. Yeah, one accident that I faced was there was this tandem paragliding festival that happened in Vagamon. There were about
Mm.
30 tandem pilots from around the world who were invited to give general public paragliding experience. And it was a 1 week event, but by the second day it became so hugely popular that there were thousands of people on the takeoff, and we needed police to control them. But on the fourth day, the police, because they had so much work, crowd control, they didn't turn up. So the public, we had made a barrier at the takeoff, and we had requested them not to come to the takeoff because Wagaman has this problem that the bottom landing is like too far away, and for tandem paragliding, it's not suitable in the bottom landing. So we have to land on the top only, top landing. So we had told the people not to cross the barrier and come in. And unfortunately, on the fourth day, when the police did not turn up, they were controlling themselves for some time, and then eventually they broke that barrier and they came inside. And for us to come and land, there was no place. So we had to go along the ridge somewhere which was suitable. And I landed in a place which had very tall grass. And it was a very freak accident in the sense that myself and my passenger landed safely, but my leg went into a hole that was dug by a rodent, probably yeah, by a bandicoot or something. It was a deep hole. My entire shoe went inside until my knee, and that fat passenger, he just lost his footing and fell on me. My leg didn't come out. It twisted at a wrong angle, and I broke my ankle. It's called a fibula fracture. It's a small bone, though it's a small one, but it kept me in bed for 2 months. But this kind of very, very strange things can happen in this sport, like freaky. Like because I have a friend was taking the video, and in the video it doesn't look like it was an accident where when somebody can break his ankle. It looked like a soft touchdown. The wing fell down, and we turned, and the passenger just fell on me. That's all. Like it looked like a normal thing for a passenger to lose his footing, but because I couldn't pull my leg out of that hole, that thing happened. So any kind of extremely freakish accidents can happen in this sport. But you got to
So
be
these
prepared for
kind
that.
of
Take it in your stride.
so these
And
kind of
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so these kind of incidents never let you down to continue the sport, right?
It should not. It should
Or
not. You should just analyze what caused
mm,
it. So in this case,
mm,
in paragliding, there's a golden rule. Always walk the landing field before you land. So I broke that rule. I landed in a place I had not even walked. But I had to do that because there was no way I could land on top of people, because that would cause more danger, more harm. Yeah, because there are women carrying kids and all. So even if one line goes, because when we land, people do not know paraglider lines are strong, made out of Kevlar. They'll try to run, and if their neck or something gets caught in the line, they can have a big cut in the neck, and that can be fatal to in some cases. So you have to stay away from people, and I had to move. This was like I was forced to move to another place to land. And that day there were like 2 or 3 injuries because of this. Pilots had to find emergency places to land because the crowd went berserk. They were all over. They were like, that particular day there were over 10,000 people on that whole Wagaman just for this paragliding. But the good side is we gave a lot of people tandem flights. So many people enjoyed paragliding there. That was one of the reasons why Wagaman became famous.
I think talking about paragliders' experience and most cherishable moment, like when I used to ask the same question to my instructors at Billing, so they used to talk about something called, there's this term called glory of a pilot. So what
Yeah,
that
yeah.
means is like, yeah, that's an amazing thing, like experience to cherish. So typically what happens is like
You were
when you
shadow on the
are
cloud
in
with the
mid,
rainbow around.
yeah, that would be such a very nice experience to have, Naren. So it's always like the dream or something which any pilot
But,
could also have, I think.
but Amit, if you have a very high resolution camera, you can capture that moment. Otherwise, you will see that many times during your flying career, but you cannot capture it
Ah,
because it happens at a
mm,
particular angle, uh, and
mm,
you got to take that picture immediately because you are always circling in a thermal, or you are on a
Mhm.
glide. So at one particular angle, it stays for a few seconds or maybe like 30, 40 seconds, but you've got to take your camera out and take a picture. Very rarely you get the picture of the glory. Very rarely. Yeah, it
Mm,
is a beautiful moment, yes.
awesome.
But the
Any
most
chance
beautiful
where
moment that you
during your
can
flight you had a chance to go beside a bird or something like a vulture or an eagle? I think that
lot of
generally
times, birds are always
that
there,
would
yes.
also be such an experience, Naren.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
And in Nepal, they had this sport called para hawking, where they would train birds of prey like vultures and eagles to fly along with paragliders. So I had this opportunity once to do that para hawking flight with my friend called Brad. And the bird takes off before you, and then after you take off, the tandem pilot will blow a whistle, and the passenger will take a piece of meat and keep his hand stretched out. The bird will come and land on your hand mid-flight, and take the piece of meat, sit there until the other tandem whistles. Then it will go there, and then it will fly down to its aviary. It's a nice experience. It was run by a guy called Scott Mason, but unfortunately they stopped it in Nepal now. He has moved to Spain.
What about Egyptians?
Yeah, Egyptian vultures. Yeah, there are all. Nandi Hills also. We used to fly with 3 or 4 Egyptian vultures regularly. They would always come, be visible when we go there, and we treated them as good luck. And whenever they are flying, we always had this feeling that the air was good. And vultures, especially large wing birds, they don't like turbulence. They fly in smooth air. So even if the thermal is well organized, only they'll fly. If it is a choppy thermal, they will not fly, because they have a very sensitive fluid in their brains that gives them this three-dimensional. It senses them lift and then the vertical and horizontal speed. So if there's turbulence, it is very painful for the bird. So it doesn't fly when it's super turbulent. Vultures and all these big wingspan birds will fly only when the air is smooth. Yeah, you will fly with a
Even
lot of
in
birds.
even in Billing, we have seen birds flying on top of a glider.
Yeah,
They
those are
usually
the
come on top
vultures.
of.
They are called the Himalayan
Hmm.
griffin vultures. They are the biggest
Hmm.
among the vultures. Yeah, but they are very used to paragliders. They will fly along with you. You know, when you're flying in front of the leading edge, there's a pressure wave. So they are enjoying that cushion of air. They're surfing that pressure wave. Yeah, it's amazing to fly with those birds. But nesting season, you've got to be very careful of all these birds of prey. You should never fly near their nest. They will attack you. So nesting season is just before the monsoons. So April, and all you have got to be in Billing. There was one famous video of a Russian guy who's when he was flying, a big vulture came into his lines, and he had to throw his reserve, and he landed, and the bird was still stuck to his paraglider when he landed, and he freed the bird. Both the bird and the pilot were safe. Amazing video that is. Yeah, Shankar, don't develop interest to watch accident videos. Okay, you can ask questions. But, most people are curious
Actually,
about accidents, but they don't realize that that can actually sit in your head in a wrong way, and it will start laying eggs, and you'll have lots of other imaginary accidents.
Awesome. I think Naren, for you, like almost like half of the year, maybe you will be spending your time at Bear, right, Naren? So
No, not half of
more
the
than.
year. I try
Mm,
to spend 1 month at least every season.
ah,
October, I try to spend a month, and then again in springtime, that is April, I try to spend a month. But I spend I divide my time there into flying and hiking, because I love hiking there. There are a lot of hiking trails, and I love to go hiking there. Tara and myself, that's our favorite pastime after we do our flights in the morning. We go for very long hikes, and that's I mean, if you're doing only flying all the time, no, it can become monotonous and it can bore you also. So you should never allow boredom to come in. So you have to keep doing multiple things.
I
Yeah,
think
initially
something
you
which
guys, for
we
you guys, you
greatly,
only fly.
yeah, I didn't missed on that.
No, for you guys, when you start off, the only you want to
Uh,
do is fly, fly, fly. But you will reach a point where you'll know that, oh, okay, I should do other things also, because a place like Billing has opportunity for mountain biking, hiking, bird watching, so many things you can do. So you must explore the full potential of the place.
mm, exactly, Naren. So I think more than paragliding with this place, Bir, I think which we can talk about here is the amazing food you get there and the kind of people who are like so much down to earth and different cultures which come up. I think with this Bir, with being a village, it's not a very commercial place compared to like Manali or Solang. So you'll be having such a laid back kind of a living where you don't see any exotic hotels or any kind of too commercialized activities at Beer Building. So I think also including paragliding, it would be a very good experience altogether, and that experience would also change depending on different seasons. So when I went in the month of March, April. I had a completely different experience experiencing the season and also the kind of visitors who come at that particular month. And I think while Shankar did his course in the month of October or November, he would be carrying his own different set of experience about
Yeah,
birth.
yeah.
So that's really
October,
good
November is the
about.
best. Yeah.
Mm,
Shankar would have had a nice experience, but he wouldn't have had that views of the snow-clad peaks that you had.
true.
Yeah. But just before the lockdown, a very bad development took place in Bir. There are a few business-oriented people in paragliding there. They want to take complete authority of the sport, and they don't want. They had collaborated with some government mountaineering school somewhere in Himachal, and they
Mhm.
wanted people who get license from that school only to fly. Others will not. They want other schools. Basically, their idea is to prevent other schools from coming there. And because people come from different schools, they buy equipment from through their schools, right? So these guys are the
Mhm.
ones who are selling equipment. So they want total control over that place. But this approach of theirs is not going to do any good to Bir, because the worst affected will be the homestay people there and the taxi guys. So they will only fight
Mhm.
against them. We don't have to do anything. They will only fight against them. Otherwise, their life will come to a standstill, because they have already suffered enough because of COVID. Now another disturbance like this will not happen. But this is the evil plan that they have, that some seniors in the sport are trying to negotiate with them. Let us see how it goes. They're misusing their contacts with the government and trying to do this. Let us hope for the best. But in the worst case, plan B is Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand is always open to us. We can go to Uttarakhand, and Uttarakhand is equally beautiful, and there are virgin sites in Uttarakhand, and there are some very good pilots in Uttarakhand who take us around and help us with flying. There are some places you will go crazy. I once flew in a place called Laka Mandal, and that's the remotest paragliding site I've flown from. It's like insanely wild, like big mountains, and this foot trekking trail which takes you up. It's a long hike up, and then a nice slope, but then you are there in the middle of nowhere. Amazing place. And Laka Mandal is also famous for some temple ruins, which they excavated, and they have made one. They built one temple out of excavating about 25 temples. So all 25 temples architecture is there inside one temple. Beautiful place. You will get lost when you go there. Yeah, there are so many places like Laka Mandal. Tehri Dam is also a fantastic place to fly. And near Dehradun, there is one place called Hangfair, which is one very recognized place to fly, because it has accommodation, close proximity to the airport and all. So you have direct flights to Dehradun, not like Bir, no? So Bir, you have to fly to Delhi or Dharamsala and then take a taxi. Here you just go
Correct.
to Dehradun, and from there you take a taxi, 1.5 hours, that's all. And you are in the flying site. Beautiful place. Yeah, in plan B is Dehradun. If Bir does not happen, then it will be Uttarakhand.
Crazy.
But we'll do some local activity around Bangalore and within
sure.
Karnataka.
Mandarin.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been 2 years. I'm sure that we would have forgotten few things. We need to brush up
Yeah,
on some
but
things
you can
as well.
always recap whatever you learned. Very easy to get back. You just have to give it the time.
Even in billing, when I had gone for the course, I used to see people who used to come for the second time or third time. They used to brush up on the basic ground handling course and everything, and then go for the flight once again.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. It's normal because most people will not have the opportunity to continue, or even when they have an opportunity to read up and stay connected, they won't read, like you and Amit.
I agree with that.
You have the opportunity to read and be theoretically pakka, but you will not make that effort. Huh?
Well,
And many people.
I-
I have one student called Chandra Pratap Singh. That fellow is a very unique student. In the uniqueness is now he has total inability to read. He wants to listen. So he will say, "Sir, this chapter I want you to talk about," and then he will sit and listen to that. Harikathe keldange. But he will never read anything. So chapter after chapter, I have to read and tell him like a story. So yeah, develop reading. That is like really good. It makes your experience of the sport that much safer if you are theoretically sound. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಗ್ರೇ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಫ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸಿಚುಯೇಷನ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ರೆಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಟು ಡೂ, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸ್ಟಕ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಸಿಚುಯೇಷನ್ ಶುಡ್ ನೆವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್. Even if you have radio and in contact with an experienced pilot, having your own knowledge base is always good. Because it will reinforce your experience to such a high level that you will never forget it afterwards.
Completely. I think this is one sport where like you always have to be like updated with all the knowledge and try to understand the different variables involved in the sport, and it's also very
you never lose your contact with your basics, the foundation. Adu clear agi itkombeko. Then all the new things that come is not much. The sport cannot grow by leaps and bounds. It has reached a saturation. So there will be only some cosmetic change here and there in the glider design. Flying techniques by and large will not change much. It will remain the same. Weather, as you know, is going to be the same. What it was hundreds of years ago is the same weather only now. So we are understanding the weather. It's even more easier than what it was 20 years back when we started. Because then we had to only read from book and see. But we have so many interactive videos and seminars. It's so easy now to keep in touch with everything. Yeah, you should do that.
So
also, I think it's always about applying those concepts. So I think the way how we look at the sky itself changes after doing all these activities. So I always remember like when I go to my home terrace also, when you look at the clouds, you will be like, okay, that's a nimbus, that's a cumulonimbus happening. Okay, there's a cloud suck which is happening. Okay, you will be getting a rainfall. And then when you see like a group of birds flying there, you'll be thinking, oh, there's a thermal there which the birds are caught and moving up. I think our whole perspective while we look up to the sky itself changes, right? And that's so
absolutely. Yes. Your understanding of the sky will be totally different now. ಮುಂಚೆ clouds ನೋಡಿದಾಗ you will only connect with some heroine. That cloud has the
ಆನೆ ತರ ಇದೆ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್.
So yeah, now you can figure out everything. See, there's a good book called Cloud Spotter's Guide. Cloud Spotter's Guide. It's published by an UK group which is called the Cloud Appreciation Society. So the book is called Cloud Spotter's Guide. Get that book. In a very simple way, each cloud is explained, and you can learn a lot from that book. It's not too much of technical jargon, It's all simple, easy to understand English, and in a very funny way also. Like the shape of the clouds, even there they say like before you know about weather and clouds would have appeared like Marilyn Monroe. But yeah, the contours. But now it will be different. When you see the same cloud now, you will know that whether it's a soarable cloud or no, a dissipating cloud or an active cloud. Lots of things about weather. Weather is like a colossal subject, huge. The more you study, the more there is to learn.
Okay.
So that Vishnu Priya is so quiet. Is she there or she has gone away somewhere
I'm
shopping?
right here.
Okay, I thought you had gone shopping.
No.
Do you have any questions?
No, like I just want to know how, the sport paragliding influenced your life.
Big
Like how
time.
it changed
It
your
will affect,
outlook towards life or something like that.
it affects everyone in the same way, almost at the same level. Like what it has happened to Amit and Shankar, the same sensations. Because the first time when you fly, yeah, it's a feeling of liberation. And our human vision is not used to depth perception. So for the first time, you experience 3D, like live 3D, not 3D in a photograph, but this is live 3D. And that's an exhilarating experience. Nobody can forget it. The first flight, they say, is something that no one will ever forget. Like Amit, how he remembers his parasailing, the feeling of getting airborne in a parasail. That moment is like very special. And it's the same for everyone. The moment you get airborne, it's a thrilling experience, and then you want to do it more. After you land, most people, they will want to do it again. For us, how it happened, paragliding was, I told you that we used to do microlight flying. It was an airplane. We call it 3-axis airplane, meaning it will have roll, yaw, and pitch control. But it's a microlight, meaning it's less than 500 kgs, and it is run by a petrol engine. And it was, for us, those days, we could afford it, but still it was on the expensive side, like 3,500 rupees an hour or something with training. And for instruction, they used to charge us 5,000 rupees an hour. So it was expensive in the sense to buy an aircraft, and then after buying an aircraft to keep it in a hangar, we call it hangarage. Hangarage is expensive, maintenance expensive. We were wondering how to pursue this sport, but it was also very thrilling and addictive. And exactly at that time in Jakur, there's another aviation company called Agni Aerosports, and there was one Air Force skydiver there who was organizing a skydive for civilians, and it happened for the first time in Mysore. And when we did that skydive, and when we were coming under the canopy, flying down, we realized something related to canopy, minus the aeroplane we needed. So minus the aeroplane, we had no clue, but finally we found out that paragliding is our solution. And ever since we started paragliding, there's no looking back, because it can't get any better than this. Yes, when the season starts, we will all plan something, an paragliding experience. All those who are interested. So we'll do it in small groups. Then Shankara, Amit?
Yeah.
Sure, Naren. Looking forward for it.
We'll do it in. We'll
wouldn't miss
do experience flights for them, tandem flights, so that they get a hang of it. But you guys can do your ground handling and solo flying. So in the process, we'll spread our joy and our addiction to others.
Awesome, Naren.
Sure, we'd also love to come.
Not on how many people.
Yeah,
At least
we'd
we
love
want to
to
do
join
it,
you
but
sometime.
financial
Yeah.
part of it only will be. We'll do this for all those who are interested, and it's a long drawn process, but we will plan it in a nice way. Paragliding and camping, that kind of stuff. There should be some travel also in that. We'll do it in
we had
such.
planned this actually 2 years back. We'll go by car and then camp somewhere in someone's house. Remember?
ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯಾರೋ
Yes,
ಬೈಕಲ್ಲಿ
we
ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ರು
have to do that, because sometimes what happens, the best plans, sometimes the very best plans get bungled because of something or the other, because not everything is in our control. So let's hope for the best. No, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. We will aim for it, nevertheless.
Awesome. I think mostly in paragliding, Naren, we try to understand it's never the concept of now or never. It's either now or
Yeah,
sometimes later. So that's something which gets like
correct.
inscribed in us
Season after
very
season, you
well.
will have opportunities to fly.
Mm. Awesome.
So it's really been long. Thank you guys for sharing all of this. And for us, me and Vishnu, like we were doing research before this. We already like we have had this idea like we'll be doing this once everything like finishes off. And for the everyone who is watching, we'll have Naren's Access Club link in our description. And also, Amit has written a blog uh, to all the people who want to know how the experience is. It will be like he has written it in a great way. He has added some clips. We'll be mesmerized by that, and even that link will be in the description. And we'll also surely come once all of this is over. There's already like 4 or 5 people in our club ready for doing this.
Any
And
number is good. Any number is good. Actually, smaller is better because you will get more wholesome time and experience.
yeah, this is just us. Like now, after the video comes,
Yeah.
surely there'll be more people.
Yeah.
And especially learning from Naren, obviously, like who all apart from adventure, they want fun. And where else can we get it?
Yeah. That is guaranteed. Extracurricular activities will be guaranteed.
So cool,
So,
Naren.
yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Loads of fun, guys. Come on, let's do it.
They say parasailing is for mass production. Like many people can do it over and over again. But paragliding has to be done in a very limited way, just for the safety of the sport and the constraints in the whole activity. Because parasailing can be just done on an open field. The jeep pulls you up and then you land and then the line is brought back. The turnaround is very quick in parasailing, but in paragliding, the turnaround takes time. But to give a good experience, we should do it in smaller numbers. That's the way I've always done it. And I have experienced that when you do it in smaller numbers, the people who come for the experience get complete experience. Otherwise, it will become Gumpal Govinda. Gumpal Govinda is no good for anyone, neither for the guy who is giving the experience or the people who is experiencing it. Yeah, it should be done in a calm and enjoyable way. Yeah, you should have the time and totally enjoy. You should like totally sink into that environment. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Awesome. And also, Shubham, along with myself and Shankar, and including Balaji, who is our MC alumni, there are various other people right from Mountaineering Club itself who are pilots, and people like our alumni Harsha, who got trained under Naren for his paragliding courses, and a few other pilots like Swapnil Loya, my senior, who is a pilot for Indian Navy. And also our very own batchmate Bhavna Kant from our mountaineering club, who is one among yeah, exactly, Naren. So we have a very good bunch of good community building up in our mountaineering club, particularly on aero sports. I think it's going to be really good down the line for all you guys to get involved and try to grow this community along with all of us. That's going to be nice.
But during this season, what we can do during this monsoon is you guys should plan some cycling trips. Let's go for some cycling rides. No? Plan, buddy. You bought your cycle? Shankar and Amit, you bought your cycle?
Yeah,
no,
I bought mine.
Not yet. Still,
you didn't buy only Amit?
Illa, Naren, not yet. So, tagombeku. I was planning, but for all this pandemic issues, the cost of cycles have increased like anything. Almost on 30-40% ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. Yeah. And while I inquired, almost one cycle, 5 to 8K ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು. So I was like, okay, let me give it some time and get a good cycle ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂತಿದ್ದೆ.
Shankar, which cycle did you buy?
That Arc.
ನೋಡಿ ನರೇನ್, ಸೈಕಲ್ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಹೆಸರು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಶಂಕರ್ಗೆ, ಸುಮ್ನೆ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಮೂಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಬರೀ ಬೈಕ್
ride the bicycle, man. ಅದೇನ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸಿನಾ ಶಂಕರ್?
ಇಲ್ಲ
ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ.
Taxi alla Narayan.
Okay. Geda.
Again.
Okay. Yeah, let's ride, man. Let's do some
Yeah,
fun
sure.
rides about.
Hmm.
Amit,
Yes,
ಇದು
Naren.
ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಂಬನ್ನಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಂದ.
ಯಾವ್ದು
ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ನಿಮ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಇದು.
ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸ್ ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಶೋರ್ ನರೇನ್ ಈಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಅನಫ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಅಸ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಪಕ್ಕ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ.
What about the other two? Do they
Sure,
have
Naren,
bicycles?
Yes.
What about the other two? Do they have bicycles?
I do have a
Right
gear.
now, here it is.
Vishnu Priya doesn't have.
No, I have a gear cycle.
Oh, you have, okay.
Yeah.
And
Shubham?
other moderator, do they have?
I used to have it here. I'm not in Bangalore. I don't stay in Bangalore. I used to go around here. Then when I came in Bangalore, like for study purpose, the old cycle went off. Then like only once when we used to go out and all, we used to just rent one and go. I haven't bought one yet.
Oh, you don't live in Bangalore, is it?
No.
Shubham?
Yeah, no. I live in Belgaum.
Virtual meetings are so unique, Alva Naren. Like you, at least I didn't get to know that like all of us, like Shubham is staying in a different city and we are from different places altogether.
Where does he stay?
I stay in
Shubham in
Belgaum.
Belgaum.
Oh, Belgaum. Okay, nice. That's
Yeah,
also a
so
lovely
on this
place for cycling. Great routes there around Belgaum.
Yes. That's the thing. I don't have a cycle right now, and we had to go on a car on a recent.
But everyone should have the bicycle. That should be
Yeah.
the number one priority. Bicycle first. Before
And
it-
use their bicycles, unlike
Yeah, Shankar, use it.
The thing is, I'm addicted to my bike a lot than the bicycle.
ಬೈಕ್ ಓಡಿಸೋದೇ ಬೇರೆ ಮಜಾ ಬಟ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಜಾನೆ.
Yeah, but I can't compare that with this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's what do you say, a kind of a rivalry between the bikers and the cyclists. Cyclists say the doing cycling is better, but bikers, they have their own way of enjoying.
ಹೌದು. But towards the end of the month, they will like cycling. When their pockets start to dry up, then they'll say like cycling. So for bikers, bicycling is a month-end activity. Anyway, it was really nice, this session. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yes, guys.
Thank
Thanks
you
a lot
for
for
coming.
joining us.
Yes.
Awesome,
And then when we meet in
Naren.
person, we can exchange more stories and have fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Tara.
Thanks a lot, Naren. Thanks a lot, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, Tara.
Hi. Nice meeting you guys, talking to you guys.
Bye.
You can
For
end
all the
the
viewers,
recording.
please do like, share, and comment. You can also drop in your views regarding which adventure sport you'd like to hear about on our podcast. So thank you, guys. See you soon.